Hi there. Welcome to Restorative Yoga. My name is Leah and I will be guiding your practice. Today I am one of the staff counselors here at the Counseling Center, and I'm also a registered yoga instructor. So I'm glad you're here. To start today, I'm going to invite you to find an easy seated pose. If that is cross-legged, that's fine. If this is not available to you, you can also have your legs out in front of you. Sometimes it's nice to, if you have any kind of blocks or any kind of pillows, blankets, anything like that, a bolster would be nice to have with you for this practice. So feel free to get all the supports that you need. In finding your way to a seated pose, sometimes it's nice to set a support underneath you. It can kind of help when you have your hips higher than your knees. Sometimes that's a little bit more comfortable for people. It kind of helps to kind of naturally straighten your spine and improve your posture. So try that out as well. So as you find your way to whatever seated pose you find, remembering that it is always your practice, your yoga, your body. So remember that I'm just here to offer suggestions, offer options, and you are the expert on your body. You are the expert on what feels good or what doesn't feel good. So I encourage you to pay attention to that today, and just remember that one of the most important things today is to honor what you need and tune into that. So once you find your way to this seated posture, which is just going to allow us to connect with our breath, to kind of start to come into our practice, and also remembering that our intention really, for the most part, is to connect with our breath and connect with our body. And maybe start to slow down our minds just a little bit, to set down any cares or concerns, any of those lovely running to-do lists that we may have running through our mind. So any of those things, remember that you can set down off of your mat for the next little bit, remembering that this time and this practice is just for you, and you and your mat are enough. So as you're here, I'm going to invite you to maybe close your eyes. If that feels comfortable and safe, you can also kind of relax your eyelids, kind of bringing the gaze down in front of you. And we're just going to take a couple rounds of breath, maybe just starting with noticing where your breath is. Maybe notice how your body's feeling. Maybe checking in with any body parts that are a little tense, a little sore, maybe working a little bit harder to heal. And maybe with your breath, you send a little bit of love. You send a little bit of healing that way. Our restorative practice today is really an opportunity to reconnect with your body, to kind of reclaim your body, and also to restore, right? We're really good at pushing hard and maybe neglecting our bodies a little bit. So this is an opportunity for you to really fully experience yourself, giving it a little bit of love and restoring a little bit, coming back to your center. So as you're here, I'm going to invite you to maybe place one hand on your belly and one hand in the area of your heart. And we'll simply take a few rounds of breath together. So I'm going to invite you to empty out all of your air. Take a full breath in. And exhale completely, letting it go. Inhale. And exhale. And once more together, we'll take a breath in. And maybe this time with an open mouth, exhale and let it all go. And I'm going to invite you to continue to breathe here. Continue to allow your hands to guide your attention and your connection to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly. Notice maybe the path of your inhales and exhales. And I'm going to offer a simple mantra that encourages this connection. So as you continue to breathe and be here, I'm going to invite you to simply and silently repeat the following phrases in your mind. I am safe. I am loved. I am home. I am in my body. I am safe. I am loved. I am home. I am in my body. Go ahead and release your hands down. Your eyes can remain closed here if that continues to be comfortable. And I'm just going to invite you to maybe start to move your head and neck in whatever way feels nice and natural here. So sometimes it can just look like a little simple stretch from side to side. Sometimes you can kind of allow your nose to draw a circle. And just remembering to breathe along with any movement. Remembering that there's no right or wrong. Just pay more attention to what this feels like rather than what it looks like. And so once you have kind of moved your neck and head, however it feels good and natural, I'm going to invite you to, we're going to just take a nice little seated twist here. So I'm going to come off my block. That makes it easier for me. I'm just going to bring my legs out in front of me. And what you can do here is either you can bend one knee, so we'll bend the right knee to start, and you can either have your hands here clasped, kind of around your shin, around your knee, setting the intention to kind of sit with a little bit of height, right? So you can either stay here or you can bring this right foot and cross it over your left knee. So whatever feels good and kind of more stable for you, I invite you to do that. And all we're going to do here is just take our right hand behind us. Your left hand can either kind of stay on that knee. You can also just extend that left arm. And we're just going to look to our right. And again, eyes can be open or closed. Sometimes when our eyes are closed and quiet, it helps our mind start to quiet as well. And just breathe here, maybe a few times. Allowing yourself to slowly unwind. If you've crossed that leg over, bringing it back, straightening out, kind of finding your center again here on both hips. And we're just going to bend that left knee. So we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Remember, you can stay here, right, or cross it over. So whichever feels best for you. Lengthen your spine. Bring your left hand behind you. Right arm can stay on your knee. That right arm can extend. And we're just going to look to the left. Taking full breaths in and out. Remembering that any time you are allowing your body to twist, it's kind of a natural way to encourage your body to detoxify from any negative emotions that may build up in your body throughout the day, throughout the week. So think of this as a nice little cleanse for your body. And then as we unwind, straighten out your legs, kind of feel around a little bit, we're going to set up our first restorative pose. Remembering that restorative yoga is pretty different than kind of your traditional vinyasa flow kind of class. We're going to set up those poses with our fun bolsters and blankets, and if you have extra pillows and blocks and anything that you need. So we're going to set up these poses and hold them for a longer period of time. And what that allows your body to is really gain the full benefit of holding a pose for 3 to 5 minutes without having to strain, without having to put forth effort. So it's kind of a lovely, lovely little yoga nap, I often call it. So we're going to set up our first restorative pose, which is a supported child's pose. And child's pose is often used as that first beginning pose in a yoga series to ground yourself. It's a very grounding pose. So we will use our bolster, and we can also use some blocks as well. The blanket is a lovely thing to use at any time and throughout your practice. I often encourage students to, they'll kind of drape it over their shoulders. And so I may or may not use that. It might be a little bit helpful or not to let you see what my body is doing. So for supported child's pose, I'm going to use one of these big bolsters. And then I'm also going to use a block to let you see how this can be kind of adapted for maybe the different ways that your hips might be feeling today, right? So for child's pose, oftentimes knees are coming about hip, about kind of the width of your mat, if that's available. You can kind of play around with that as well. Big toes are coming towards each other behind you. They don't have to touch. That's just kind of a guide. And so what we're going to do, we're going to use this bolster to really support our full body. So we're going to end up draping over this bolster. So then the black is really kind of there to help you determine how high you need that bolster to really feel good and supported. So all we're going to do here is allow our hands to rest to the side and allow your head and neck to come to one side. And so as you're here, as you're settling, just allow yourself to make any little adjustments that you may need. Maybe you need another block, maybe you need less. And again, that blanket can be used over your back. It helps to feel grounded. Oftentimes when our bodies are relaxing, our body temperature naturally kind of lowers. So you can start to feel a little cooler. So as you're here in supported child's pose, I'm just going to continue to encourage you to practice that breath connection. And it's a practice, right? Continually practicing, bringing that awareness to your breath. So sometimes we need to partner that with our thoughts. So maybe on your inhale, you're actively thinking the word inhale, or breath in. And then on your exhale, maybe you bring that word to mind as well. Thinking exhale or breath out. And what happens is when we do that, when we start to partner our thoughts with either our breath or an intention, it starts to quiet down the other thoughts that may not be welcome during our yoga practice. Feel free to turn your head to the opposite side. If that feels good, to even things out on your head and neck. Stay here for another minute or so. Child's pose is a very grounding pose, as I said, and so sometimes it's also nice to kind of go through your body and bring awareness to the parts of your body that are having contact with the ground or being supported. So maybe you notice how it feels to have the tops of your feet on the ground. Maybe notice your shins and your knees. How it feels to have your torso supported. The side of your face, your arms, and your hands. Feel yourself supported by the ground and by any supports you're using. Maybe 2 more rounds of breath here. And as you feel ready, I'm going to invite you to slowly come out of this first restorative pose. So maybe bringing head and neck to the center. Be using your hands to help guide you back up. Setting the bolster to the side. And however you get there, I'm just going to invite you to come to a pose on your back. So kind of laying down. And we're going to make our way to our next restorative pose. So as you make your way to your backs, to lying down, most of the remaining practice will be on your back. So that's a lovely thing, right? As you're here, maybe just take 2 rounds of breath and notice how your body is feeling. Notice your back. Maybe notice your hips. Are they starting to feel a bit open from that child's pose? And just notice how it feels to be supported by the ground in this way. From here, we're going to transition into supported bridge pose. And so supported bridge pose is actually a back bend. And so a lovely thing to set up in a supported way so that you don't have to again put forth that full effort and your body still gets the same results or the same benefit. So for this, I'm going to encourage you to use a block or a bolster or a pillow or a folded blanket, whatever is handy for you. Your knees are going to be bent. Your feet are going to be on the mat about hip width apart. And you're going to take your support. So I have a block here. This is kind of my go-to with supported bridge. And you're going to lift up your hips enough just to kind of set that block underneath you. And you're going to find that spot kind of at the lower end of your spine. Mine is kind of underneath my hips a little bit, maybe under lower than that, if that makes sense. And so you kind of want your body to be at an angle where you're not feeling this kind of hammock in your spine, where you don't want to, have your hips, your pelvis pointing down either. So kind of find that sweet spot where you feel kind of in a straight-ish line, right? And so for supported bridge, you can also practice, maybe your arms are starting to be out towards a V, palms can face up, maybe your shoulders start to roll under just a little bit here. Your eyes can remain closed. And as you return attention to your breath, take a few rounds of breath here to reconnect. Notice the path of your inhale and the path of your exhale as it leaves your body. And remembering that it is always your body, your practice. If you have any lower back pain or this does not feel good, please come out of that. You can simply just remove that support and just be flat on your back with your knees bent, or finding a different variation that feels best. So as you are here, I'm going to invite you to, again, just continue to bring awareness to your breath. Noticing your inhales, noticing your exhales. And I'm going to offer a mantra, kind of a mindfulness meditation for you to repeat to yourself. And this is a very grounding affirmation. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of healing. And I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of healing. And I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of healing. And I am worthy of peace. Continue to breathe and be here. Maybe soften your face. Maybe relax your jaw. Bring attention to the space between your eyebrows. And just be. And here I invite you to take a full, complete breath in. And an open mouth exhale. Let it all go. And as you feel ready, if you'd like to transition to the next pose, I invite you to just lift your hips up enough to remove that support from underneath your hips. And here you can either straighten your legs and find a full body stretch. Sometimes it feels good for me to bring your knees into your center and kind of rock from side to side, bringing a little bit of massage to that low back. It feels pretty good after that back bend. So finding whatever kind of release that feels best to you. Notice how your body feels after that supported bridge. And I also remind you to, when you're invited to notice, try to practice noticing with curiosity, right? Rather than judgment. Just notice and release. We don't need to get judgy with ourselves. Remembering that you came to your mat to feel something, to release something, not to achieve today. And so from here, we'll set up our next restorative pose. So you can stay on your backs, and we are going to set up, and just a reminder, I'm just seeing this blanket. Remember that blankets are lovely to do, especially for this next pose, because it's a rather open pose. So sometimes it just feels nice to have that blanket over top of you. So for this pose, I'm going to use 2 blocks, and we're going to find our way to a supported butterfly pose. So all we're going to do is, again, we're going to stay on our backs, and my feet are going to come together. My knees are going to fall open, and my knees and kind of the sides of my legs are going to fully rest and be supported on those blocks. So even if, I tell students a lot of times, even if you are pretty naturally bendy and flexible, I encourage you to try the supports and see what that feels like. It's just kind of a kinder way to do this, to hold this pose, kinder on your hips. Sometimes for me it feels kinder on my low back. So this is supported butterfly. And again, here my arms are coming out to a V, my palms are face up, my shoulders are slightly rolled under, my chin is slightly pointed towards the sky. So I'll show you a few options for our hips today. So this is kind of a nice option. And remembering that hip openers are often used in yoga, we tend to see our bodies hold on to kind of those negative emotions, that tension, our old yucky stuff, right? We kind of hold in our hips. And so in yoga, we tend to hold hip openers longer, send breath, and sit with a little bit of discomfort, right? Hip openers are kind of opposite to how we naturally move through this world. So that's why I say discomfort. You never want to experience pain. but sometimes it can be uncomfortable. And so you send breath and you just allow your body to rinse out anything that you don't need to continue carrying in your bodies. So supported butterfly is an option. And the other option I'm going to show you, because I have this kind of window bench wall thing next to me, is it's called frog pose. And we can do it on the wall, which is kind of nice. So I'm just going to bring my seat a little bit closer to the wall. And here I'm going to bend my knees. My feet are going to be pointed kind of towards the walls on either side. And so you can kind of play with the proximity of your seat and how close you are to the wall for either more intense or less intense hip opening. But again, using the wall kind of brings that supported feel to this pose. So find your way to whatever hip opener you are feeling today. Notice your body settle. Your eyes are relaxed, your face is relaxed. Maybe your jaw releases. Maybe there's a little bit of space in between your teeth. And as you're here, I invite you to breathe and be. And we'll do just a bit of a progressive muscle relaxation to bring you further into that sense of release. So as you're here, I invite you to bring awareness to your forehead and the muscles of your face and relax them. Relax your jaw. Relax your throat and your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper arms. Relax your elbows. Relax your lower arms. Relax your wrists and your hands. And send relaxation to each finger. I invite you to take a full breath in. And with your exhale, relax the entire front side of your torso. Relax your upper back. Relax your middle back. Relax your lower back. Relax your pelvis and your hips. Relax your upper legs. Relax your hips. Relax your lower legs. Relax your ankles. Relax your feet. And relax each toe. I invite you to continue to breathe and be here. Take a full, complete breath in. And an open mouth exhale. Let it all go. If you'd like to transition to the next posture, I invite you to do so with some slowness, with some kindness, with a little bit of gentleness. We'll stay on your backs. So if you're in that supported butterfly pose, you can simply bring your knees together, maybe straighten out your legs. Again, moving things around, feeling anything around, finding any release or stretch, whether that's that full body lengthening stretch or rocking side to side. I invite you to find that. And our next pose will be a supported fish pose. And so for supported fish pose, again, it's kind of a back bend. It's a really nice heart opener, chest opener, and again, that back bending is really releasing a lot of tension. It's very opposite to how we tend to go through life, right? When we think about the way that we bend forward, the way that we hunch our shoulders a lot, whether we're on our phones, whether we're studying. So yeah, supported fish pose kind of offers you an opportunity to open up, to rinse out anything that is hanging on there. So you're going to need one of your bolsters or several pillows. And what I'm going to do here is kind of place it lengthwise on my mat, and I'm going to scooch it right next to, right up against my seat. And all I'm going to do here, and this is my cat Gracie, I don't know if she's in the video or not, she's just kind of walking through making herself known. So for supported fish pose, I'm just going to use this bolster and allow myself to fully be supported as I release back. So again, this is where that heart opening comes in. My throat is opening. My arms are out to to the side. My palms are facing up. And again, if this does not feel good for your body, I invite you to please remove that support from underneath you or kind of play with the height, right? So supported fish pose. Tuning back in, connecting back with your breath. And we'll return to the mantra that we started to use at the beginning of our practice. So with your breath, with yourself feeling open and releasing, I invite you to repeat the following phrases silently in your mind as you continue to breathe and be. I am safe. I am loved. I am home. I am in my body. I am safe. I am loved. I am in my body. I am home. I am safe. I am loved. I am home. I am in my body. I invite you to take a full, complete breath in and an open mouth exhale. Let everything out. And we will be transitioning to our final resting pose from here. So we're going to find our way to our Shavasana. And remembering that Shavasana can be any type of rest that you feel is best for you today. So we're just going to lift up enough to remove that bolster from underneath us, setting it to the side. Traditionally, Shavasana is arms and legs are long. You can be on your back. Again, arms are slightly out to a V, palms face up. Feet can gently fall open. Shoulders slightly roll under. And so that's what Shavasana looks like. Remember that you can take any of the restorative poses that we practiced today. So sometimes people will find that supported butterfly pose, so feet together, knees open, is a lovely way to practice Shavasana. A lot of students in the past have found that resting on a side is a nice way to practice Shavasana. So oftentimes on your left, you can use your bicep for a pillow. Knees are bent. So this is a lovely way to rest as well. You can also take Shavasana on your bellies. So that's an option as well. So basically, find your way to the resting pose that you need today. And as you settle here, remembering that Shavasana is just a way for us to fully incorporate the practice, kind of fully allow this time, these poses, the mindfulness, the meditation-y things, a time and space to allow it all to settle into your body. So as you're here, I will offer a loving kindness meditation to you. So again, I invite you to allow yourself to breathe and be, to quiet your mind, and allow yourself to silently repeat the following phrases to yourself in a kind and gentle voice. May I be happy and peaceful. May my body be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. And may I live with ease and joy. And next I invite you to bring to mind someone who has helped you in life, maybe someone you respect or someone you love. And as you hold the image of that person, we will send them some loving kindness. May you be happy and peaceful. May your body be healthy and strong. May you be safe and protected. And may you live with ease and joy. And finally, we will bring to mind an image of all beings everywhere. And we'll create this image of all without distinction, without exclusion, and we'll send out loving kindness to all. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected. And may all beings live with ease and joy. I invite you to take a full, complete breath in here. And a lovely open mouth exhale. Release it all. And as you are ready, I invite you to find your way to a full body stretch. So bringing arms overhead, Notice the length of your body. Notice the strength in your body. Maybe notice how your body feels differently than it did when you started this practice. And gently allow yourself to roll to your right side, using that right bicep for a pillow. Knees can be bent. Your left hand can ground on the earth in front of you. Your eyes can remain closed. And as you transition into this posture, known as seedling pose or fetal pose, know that this is representative in yoga as you transition from your final rest to a new beginning. Know that this is an opportunity for you to take anything with you from today's practice. So maybe you take with you a little bit of ease, a little bit of calm, a little bit of quiet, a little bit of connection with your breath. But it's also an opportunity for you to leave behind anything that no longer serves you. You may leave it here on your mat. As you use that left hand to help guide you back to that comfortable cross-legged seat where we started our practice. So coming full circle, again, your eyes can remain closed here, and we'll meet together in a cross-legged seat. You can bring your hands together, gently resting your thumb knuckles on your breastbone. And to close this practice today, I'm going to invite you to take 3 rounds of breath in community. So go ahead and empty out all of your air. Take a full breath in. Exhale it out. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. One more full breath in. And allow yourself an open mouth exhale. With our hands at our hearts, may we live our lives with compassion. Bringing hands to your mouths, may we speak words of truth and kindness. And finally, bringing your thumb knuckles to forehead or third eye center. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Take a full breath in. And together we bow forward and exhale. Namaste. Thank you for coming today, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.